You picture exposed brick, leather booths worn to perfection, a bartender in suspenders hand-carving a crystal-clear ice cube for a $25 drink, while a velvet line stretches around the block. You picture the vibe, the mystique, the Instagram posts. What nobody tells you is that the real story of a craft cocktail bar isn't happening behind the secret bookshelf. It's happening inside a walk-in cooler that fails 4 months in. It's sitting on a desk in a city bureaucrat's office where a liquor license application has been collecting dust for half a year. And it's staring back at you from a spreadsheet that's bleeding thousands of dollars a day, long before you ever pour your first drop of rye. To open a high-end cocktail bar in a major American city today, you will spend between $500,000 and $1.2 million. That isn't the cost of top-shelf bourbon. It isn't the velvet sofas. That is just the baseline toll, the construction, the permits, the legal battles, and the cash reserves required just to survive a launch year that almost guarantees you will lose money. So how does an $18 cocktail lose millions? What does it actually take, dollar by dollar, to turn a hidden door into a surviving business? Let's build a speakeasy from scratch, pull back the curtain, and watch the money burn. To understand why speakeasies are financial landmines, you have to understand where they came from. The modern craft cocktail renaissance started in the early 2000s, resurrecting Prohibition-era bartending. What began as a legal workaround in the 1920s became a luxury aesthetic in the 2000s. Suddenly, hiding your front door wasn't about dodging federal agents, it was about selling exclusivity. Today, guests willingly pay $20 for a drink because they aren't just buying 2 ounces of ethanol and an orange peel. They are paying for atmosphere, scarcity, and theater. But embedded inside that premium price point is a brutal, fatal design flaw. A bar's profitability relies entirely on one fundamental metric: volume. How many seats can you turn? How many drinks can cross the bar per hour? And yet, the very promise of a hidden, intimate speakeasy requires restricting volume. You deliberately cap your seating. You reject walk-ins. You enforce reservations. The exact aura of secrecy that builds your brand is the very thing that strangles your top-line revenue. The exclusivity that sells the concept is the structural force killing the business. Let's start where every founder starts: 4 concrete walls and a lease. If you want to open in a high-foot traffic corridor in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, or Miami, commercial real estate will run you anywhere from $40 to $90 per square foot annually. For an intimate 2,000 square foot footprint, your base rent alone is $80,000 to $180,000 a year. And remember, you are paying that rent while the space is totally empty, waiting on permits. Next comes the build-out. Turning raw commercial space into a functioning cocktail lounge is one of the most expensive forms of commercial construction per square foot. You aren't just building a room, you are building an industrial fluid factory inside a lounge. For plumbing, you need dedicated floor drains, 3-compartment sinks, ice wells, and high-pressure glass rinsers. That's $45,000 to $80,000. For electrical and HVAC, heavy-duty refrigeration, ice machines, and ventilation to handle a packed house without blowing circuit breakers or overheating guests, $60,000 to $110,000. For custom millwork and finishes, that gorgeous mahogany bar top, built-in leather banquettes, and concealed doors, another $100,000 to $200,000. Before you have bought a single bottle of liquor, you have spent $350,000 or more on a room designed to look like it doesn't exist. That is more than the median price of a home in America, spent entirely on wood, wires, and pipes. Now comes the barrier that turns rational entrepreneurs into cynics: government regulation. A common misconception is that obtaining a liquor license is just an administrative task, a simple fee you pay to the city. In reality, in cities across the United States, liquor licenses are not a routine permit. They are an artificial financial commodity. Cities cap the total number of full liquor licenses in circulation. If you want one, you can't just apply for it. You have to buy it from an existing operator on an open secondary market. In markets like Boston, San Francisco, or parts of New Jersey, a full quota liquor license can cost anywhere from $300,000 to over $500,000. Think about that balance sheet. A single sheet of paper hanging on your back wall can cost more than your entire physical bar structure combined. It operates like a taxi medallion, a scarce financial asset you must buy before a single customer walks through the door. If you have to finance that license, your monthly interest obligations start burning long before your first night of service. Assuming you survive the build-out and secure the license, you now have to equip the floor. A modern craft program cannot serve drinks in basic pint glasses. You need specialized short glassware, coupe glasses, custom highballs, and Nick and Nora glasses, all ultra-thin, highly aesthetic, and fragile. Breakage rates in high-volume cocktail bars run between 10% and 15% annually. Equipment, including commercial dishwashers, crushed ice machines, and specialized directional freezing ice systems, will set you back another $60,000 to $120,000. Then comes your opening spirit inventory. A serious cocktail menu doesn't just stock vodka, gin, and bourbon. To build a credible craft program, you need 150 to 250 unique SKUs. Niche Amari from Italy, rare mezcals, single-barrel ryes, localized bitters, and small-batch liqueurs. Your opening inventory purchase alone will cost $30,000 to $50,000. And here's the kicker. Half of those bottles are what operators call dead capital. You need that $90 bottle of niche Alpine Amaro because it's a crucial ingredient in one specific signature cocktail on your menu. But if that drink only sells 3 orders a night, that bottle sits on your shelf for 6 months. Your capital is physically trapped in glass, gathering dust on a wall. Now, let's talk about human capital. A high-end cocktail bar cannot hire a novice bartender who simply pops caps off beer bottles. You need specialists. Bartenders who have spent years mastering mixology, memorizing 40 complex recipes, and delivering flawless hospitality under pressure. In major metropolitan markets, a seasoned bartender commands $30 to $60 an hour in combined wages and tips. Add in barbacks to squeeze fresh juices and prep syrups, dishwashers to keep up with glass turnover, door staff, a kitchen team for small plates, and a general manager. Your monthly payroll for a small 2,000 square foot speakeasy can easily top $50,000 to $70,000 every single month. Here is the structural trap of hospitality labor. It does not scale down on slow nights. When a rainy Tuesday hits and only 8 people walk through your hidden door, you cannot simply send your lead bartender home mid-service. The standard of your execution demands that the full team stays posted. You are paying peak labor rates whether you cross $10,000 in sales or $400. Which brings us to the biggest paradox in modern hospitality, the illusion of the secret. In theory, a speakeasy shouldn't need advertising. The premise promises that the concept is so cool, so exclusive, that word of mouth will naturally create a line around the block. In reality, almost every successful speakeasy you've seen on social media operates a massive behind-the-scenes PR machine. To manufacture that initial discovery narrative, owners pay top PR agencies and influencer marketing firms $3,000 to $8,000 a month on retainer. You are spending thousands of dollars every 4 weeks to quietly pay people to tell the public that your bar is a secret. The mystique isn't free, it is one of your highest ongoing operational line items. Let's do the real math on that $18 cocktail. On paper, cocktail margins look magical. The raw liquid in the glass, 2 ounces of spirit, a splash of modifier, bitter drops, and a citrus garnish might only cost $3. That's a 16% pour cost, which sounds like an astounding 84% profit margin. But watch what happens when the rest of the business touches that $18. $3 goes to raw ingredients. $4.50 goes to direct labor for prep and bartending. $2.50 covers prime rent and utilities. 80 cents disappears into breakage and spillage. $1.20 goes to marketing and PR. $1 covers insurance, permits, and legal fees. And $3.50 goes directly to debt service and license amortization. What looked like a $15 profit shrinks down to a net profit of $1.50 per drink. When all is said and done, the actual net profit margin of an independent craft cocktail bar sits between 3% and 9%. That is thinner than most fast casual burger chains. A speakeasy can be wall-to-wall packed every single weekend, yet still lose money month after month because its fixed debt and build-out costs eat every single dime of operational markup. This brings us to the number almost no first-time restaurant owner plans for: the working capital reserve. Most independent hospitality venues take 18 to 24 months just to achieve operational break-even, if they survive that long. That means on top of your $1 million build-out, you need at least $150,000 to $300,000 sitting in liquid cash reserves just to bridge the gap between opening day and solvency. And then comes winter. In the bar industry, January and February are known as the dead zone. Post-holiday fatigue and dry January cause nighttime drinking traffic to plunge by 30% to 50%. If your cash reserve was drained during construction delays, which almost always happen, a single slow winter month will wipe out your remaining cash balance. Behind these metrics is a human disaster story playing out across every major city. It's the career bartender who poured their entire life savings and took out a second mortgage to open their own space, only to realize they are working 90-hour weeks for zero pay. It's the private investors who backed an aesthetic idea on Instagram only to become creditors when the business runs out of capital in month 14. Payroll gets delayed, staff starts leaving, the owner extends a personal credit line to cover rent, then another. Within 18 months of the grand opening, the lease is forfeited. The custom millwork is auctioned off for pennies on the dollar to the next hopeful dreamer standing in line. This brutal financial reality is why the modern bar industry has quietly undergone a massive structural shift over the last decade. The era of the purely independent, single-concept speakeasy run by a solo dream chaser is fading. In its place, the market has transitioned toward multi-concept hospitality groups. By operating 3, 4, or 5 distinct concepts under one corporate roof, or inside a single large building, these groups achieve massive economies of scale. They share a single master liquor license and umbrella insurance policy. They run 3 distinct bars off one centralized preparation kitchen and prep team. They consolidate back-office overhead, accounting, HR, and marketing across multiple revenue streams. Every trendy hospitality group dominating your city's nightlife scene today didn't expand just out of ambition. It expanded out of financial survival. It is an evolutionary adaptation to the unforgiving math of small footprint hospitality. A speakeasy was never just an interior design concept. It was a high-margin illusion built on top of a brutally low-margin business model. The bookshelf door was never really hiding a secret bar. It was hiding just how razor-thin the numbers behind it have always been. So, if you had $1 million today, would you risk it to build your dream concept? Or is the independent bar business officially broken? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more business breakdowns.